Hello again, guys and girls of the Gears of War community. Welcome back to another Gears of War 3 gameplay commentary. So, if you're one of the 3 people who watch me for my gameplays, you're really going to enjoy this one. I've got a lot of Boomshot play in the first round, and I know a lot of people are like, oh yeah, Boomshot play, Boomshot's easy. No, trust me, some of the stuff I do with this Boomshot in the first round is just ridiculous. So, look out for that, and I get a lot of Nasher and Sniper play in the second round, so yeah, enjoy. So, yesterday I did a commentary on basically how I got into competitive, and now I'm going to pick that up between where I left off and where I am now. So, I'm going to pick up with GR. So, I just left GR and I was looking for another team, and I think eventually I ran back into number 1 Codfish and I joined back with them. So, I made a team with number 1 Codfish, I'm Hunter and I'm Thunder again. And we did quite well. And, oh yes, one more thing. Back in GR, there was one player which kind of stood out to me. So I kind of took him with me and convinced Thunder to let him in the team for a while. And I did a lot of dubs with him and things like that. So yeah. And that guy actually turned out to be Defensus. So, a couple of you who follow me for a long while know who he is. He's quite a good player now. He's getting quite close to my level of skill, which is quite frightening because, the relationship I've always had with him is I'm the dominant one. I'm always the one who's slightly better than him. But, you know, he's catching me up now, so that's quite scary. So I'm going to have to step up my game a bit. But, yeah. Anyway, back to the team. So, I'd made a team with Defensus, I'm Hunter, I'm Thunder, and number 1 Codfish, which was called Ferocity. Now, if you go really far back, you can actually watch some of my old videos which were from Ferocity, basically on my early, or not early, they were actually quite late GB days. So you can see some of my late GB games before I finally moved on to doing proper scrims and things like that. But basically what happened with this team was I was very good friends with all the players, and we enjoyed playing together, but they kind of never really wanted to go LAN, or they said they did, but there wasn't really much motivation in it. They never kind of sat back. They were never really enthusiastic about it. They said, "Oh yeah, we could go EGL if we want," and I never really got through to it. And I really wanted to start scrimming and things, scrimming really good teams, because game battles teams aren't good enough to get good against. Basically, you gotta play the best to be the best. So eventually I just sat back and I said, right, I'm sorry guys, I'm gonna move on. So at that point I'd recently met back up with G13 Amnesia, and I was kind of on the fence because we didn't leave it at the best terms beforehand, but I wanted to get into the highest level of competitive play, and he was like my gateway. So I joined up with him. Me and him just kept on looking for a pair. That's how I met a guy called Z Decade, who's now got I Decade, L Decade, and F Decade, Z Decade. He's got like 1,000 different accounts. So if you see someone called Letter Decade, then give him a shout out from me. But yeah. And that's how I met him. He's a good friend of mine now. I'm looking forward to meeting him at LAN. I also met a few other people. I met Fanta, who at the time he was probably the best player that I got regular experience with, and I got quite decent at the game from playing a lot of checkouts with him, King of the Hill checkouts. But eventually it just got over the top because playing with Amnesia was just like really annoying, because we all like to have a bit of banter, but his version of banter was like, I'm going to insult you till you cry. Although he never, that's how everybody else would see it. To him, it's just like, oh, I'm just taking a bit of a piss. But his taking the piss was like, he'd just go on a rant for like 10 to 20 minutes saying how my life was shit. And it's like, and then at the end he'd say, oh no, it's just a joke, get over it. And it's like, mate, that's not banter, for Christ's sake. So eventually I just dropped him, and from that point I started looking for a team with Defensus, because I know he wanted to go to EGL 7 and I wanted to go to CGL 7. So I really wanted to get a team with Defensus, And that is how I met Porkyplop, or I'm not sure, that might not be how I met Porkyplop, but I met Porkyplop, who is now Codhead, and basically we made a quick team with them, but eventually we sat down and said, right, we're never going to make it to EGL 7, so Porky wanted to go in a pickup team to EGL 7. He went with a pickup team with Fruz and Ricky Fenn. Him, Fruz, Ricky Fenn, and Super Spaz, that's what it was. And basically, they didn't do too well at LAN. They came in the bottom 3 or something like that. So basically, from that, they came back after LAN and disbanded that little team. Fruz and Codhead stuck together. Then they brought in Reddin, and then after about like 3 or 4 weeks of me trying to get with them, basically, eventually they sat back and said, alright, we'll let you in the team, and now it's happily ever after, and we're looking forward to going to EGL 8 and trying to do our best. I hope you guys can give us some support. If you're not going there, then make sure you watch the actual stream online, and I'm looking forward to bringing you some competitive content whenever I can actually get down to actually getting it all together. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the gameplay. It was very sexy, a nice little 21 for 1. But if you did enjoy, leave me a like. If you really enjoyed, leave me a subscribe. But thank you for watching, guys, and goodbye.